Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Metagames GX here, and I'm here with my Goat Control deck profile that I've been long rumoring. So this is a Soul Control Monarch build. Basically, Goat Control was a format from back in the day, right before Ancient Sanctuary, I believe, and it consisted of a lot of decks that use Scapegoat. I'll leave a description or a link below if you want to check out the GOAT website to see more of an idea of how many, because it's a very diverse format. A lot of decks do just use the Scapegoat into Thousand Eyes, but a lot of decks don't, and a lot of decks have other things, and it's an interesting era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because a lot of cards like Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, Delinquent Duo, very just power cards that the game hasn't seen since they've been banned, are in this format. But it's known as a rather skillful format, because you can't just like win within a couple turns. It's very, I mean, you can, but it's no OTKs are really happening unless you're playing an aggro deck, and then the aggro decks don't have the control aspect, so it's just like there's trade-offs. So we're going to go over this card by card. We have a little bit new of a perspective. I know I'm not quite using my microphone like I was. I'm now using my my phone microphone. I think that's just fine, honestly. There's not too much of a difference. I think that they're pretty comparable. So here's the first three cards. This is a 40 card main deck. I'm going to go kind of in depth with everything, and then we can do a follow-up video if you guys want sideboards and test hands. So 3 Thestalos. So I'm running 6 Monarchs in this build without a Chaos Engine. This is more of the traditional way people played this deck back in the day and still do. So Thestalos is a crazy card in this format because it's a 1-card tribute summon, and when you run Soul Exchange, when you're able to use your opponent's effect or monsters to get him out on the board, when you summon, he just rips a card out of your opponent's hand, and if it's a monster, it'll burn for the level. Just very solid card. I'm glad I got the first set supers at least. I want the ultis so bad. But it's really the heart and soul of the deck. If you resolve this card with like a Soul Exchange, you basically are in, extremely amazing spot to just like go for game, especially if you have stuff like Scapegoat on your back. So Thestalos is quite a good card. So the next couple cards are Mobius the Frost Monarch. These are my other 6 Monarchs. I was thinking about running Zaborg, but this is what we're doing right now. I'm thinking about making a Chaos build with Zaborg. So let me know in the comments if you guys would like to see that. And please remember to like or dislike the video if you don't like this. So 3 Mobius. This card's actually almost as crazy as Thestalos because this format has so many different back row destructions. So it turns into a card that you will play before Thestalos if you're going second for sure, just because you're gonna have multiple different back row just in your way. So this guy pops 2 back row, 2 spells and traps when he's tribute summoned. So it's just basically almost as good as Thestalos. Makes me kind of wish there was like a Fire and Water, Dark, or like BLS in this set, because they're interesting typings and they're basically the best Monarchs. I mean, Zaborg is quite good too, so I've thought about running him. I've thought about running Jinzo in the main deck. That would be the other, pseudo Monarch card that I could run. So now the next 3 cards we're going into the flip monsters, because in GOAT format, it's a slower game, so you're trying to build advantage off of cards that flip and give you a +1, because a lot of them do, or just recruiters. So Dekoichi is a level 4. One of the best flips you have, because it's a 1400 beater, which is pretty good in this format, you'd think, and or you wouldn't think. And he draws 1 for every Dekoichi you have. Most of the time you don't get more than 1, but sometimes you'll get 2. I like this super. It's a speed dual one. I think it's the only holo. And I think I'd keep this card. It's extremely good. It's dark too, so if you want to run BLS or Chaos Sorcerer, those cards are very good in combination with this deck. It's a +1 and a beater, so that's why I love it. 2 Magician of Faith. This is pretty standard for this format. You run a lot of power spell cards in GOAT format, so what Magician of Faith does is she'll just get a spell card from your graveyard when she's flipped up, so you can get back your Metamorphosis. You're running a lot of one of power cards that are at 1 for a reason. They're so strong. And this card just recruits it back, and since the game is so slow, you can afford to play it. I mean, still was at a slow pace. I mean, that's why I like GOAT format, because it's a really nice change of pace from the current format. And same with Edison. Edison's a tiny bit faster, but still. Dark Mimic, 2 Dark Mimics. I've thought about running this at 1. Ignore my really damaged Dark Mimic. So this card's another +1, and what's kind of neat is that you can tribute this card. Because like you can't summon level 3, but in certain situations where you don't want a monster on the board, you can tribute him at the standby phase, which is, it's actually come up a couple times, so it's just mainly there to be that +1. Just more Dekoichis, because you're basically playing to get those power spells and to get those monarchs on board and to get these guys. So we're going to go on to the one of monsters, Sinister Serpent. This card's just crazy in this format. Anything that discards, you send Sinister Serpent because it recruits itself back to your hand from the graveyard, your next standby phase, so you can keep just using this as fodder. Also, it's a level 1 for Metamorphosis. Then we'll go Sangan. It's one of the best monsters in the whole format. You get to search basically any monster in your deck that's not a Monarch when it's sent to the graveyard from the field. So it's very good. One Spirit Reaper. I really like Spirit Reaper. This card actually comes up a lot, almost where you have a Thestalos and then you just like have a Spirit Reaper and you're just like ripping cards. It's just a really good way to just... I like playing a control way with this deck, and you're able to... It really is a control deck. That's why I like it, but it has a lot of explosive capabilities. But Spirit Reaper lets you control your opponents just like cards, because you're always ripping a card from their hand, and it's also unkillable, so if you need one turn to sub a Monarch, worst case. I really like it. And then Breaker the Magical Warrior, this card is incredible. It goes up to 1900, and then you can pop a spell or trap card. So that ends the monsters. I kind of wish I ran more monsters. This deck sucks when you don't see your monsters, basically. But, like, they're all really good. So, we're into the spells. Soul Exchange. This is the other part of the Heart and the Soul of the deck. So, this card is basically a 2001 Monarch Stormforth that is not a quick play. So, it's not a quick play. So, it's not as good, but it's 2005 in this format, so this is pretty good for 2005. You love to see this going second. If you see this going first or going second and you have a Monarch, you're just chilling. You're basically winning that game because you're going to tribute over your opponent's monster. They're not going to get their effect, most likely, and then Soul Exchange, and then you get to rip a card out of your opponent's hands or stroke 2 back row, and your opponent just goes so negative from there. That's why this deck is basically the second best deck in GOAT control. I mean, it really fluctuates, you know, which I like with people continuing these old formats. You see other decks kind of like go to the wayside or like get highlighted compared to back in the day, because we didn't have that much time with the format. So I think Monarchs still really stand up very well, though. I'm not sure, though. I need to start entering some GOAT tournaments. I'm going to be doing Edison soon, though. And Blackwing deck profile coming soon, so please like and subscribe, or dislike if you would like to see that. So, 3 Metamorphosis. This is one of the best cards in the deck, because it goes with Scapegoat. Basically, on any monster, you can target it, and then you get to special summon a fusion monster with the same level as that monster. So a lot of the time you'll just have 3 Scapegoat, so you'll just like play Scapegoat, Metamorphosis into a Thousand Eye Restrict. Thousand Eye Restrict is one of the best monsters in this format. It allows you to take one of your opponent's monsters, and then your opponent can't attack. So it's just like, really, this is where the control aspect of the deck comes in. It's really integral that this deck has Scapegoat and Metamorphosis. I've seen some builds not run 2 and 2. I think 3 and 3 is the play. So, 3 Metamorphosis. You only run levels 1 through 6, though, so you don't have access to Gatling, sadly. So 3 Scapegoat, this is a incredible card. It's also really good to just like not take damage. You special summon 4 goat tokens out, and it's a quick play. So this is your fodder for Metamorphosis. Plus you get just like extra space. You can't tribute them with Monarchs, which like really sucks. But usually like that's not an issue. They'll be gone by the time. And then 3 Book of Moon. This is the last of the 3 ofs. Book of Moon's just a crazy card in early Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you essentially get to stop most things. And because of how priority works, it's just a crazy card. I think, I mean, this could be a flex spot. These could be other things, but for now, I think this is the best option that I know of. Then 2 Noblemans. I love Noblemen in this format. You really need to run these guys because there are so many monsters that get set. It's very unlikely your opponent will end on the board with a monster face up. Turn 1. Also, I'm sick if you haven't realized, so yeah. Prage for me. If you hit a Spirit Reaper or other cards, you win. So now here comes the one-ofs. Paw Greed. We love Paw Greed. I want an ulti Paw Greed. Someone trade me their ulti Paw Greed. Draw, it's a +1. Why not run it? Delinquent Duo, even better card because you get to rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand for only 1,000 life points. It's kind of like most broken card ever printed. Graceful Charity. This card is just really good too. You get to +1, and then it's not really a +1, but I mean you get 3 cards. And then Snatch Steal. I mean this is why all these cards are banned. Snatch Steal could come back in this day, but this card rips one of your opponent's monsters. You get to keep them. I'm surprised Mind Control or Brain Control isn't legal in this format compared to Snatch Steal, because Snatch Steal is objectively better. Or maybe it is, I'm just wrong. 1 Mirror Force, and here are the traps. 1 Ring of Destruction, just 2 of the best traps back in the day. This card's incredible. Just like, you get to tie games with it. You get to... you just get to punish your opponent so hard with Ring, and then Mirror Force is just like a solve all problem card. I love this secret rare. And 3 Sakuretsu Armor. So this is one of the best trap cards back in the day. This is a 1 card out to 1,000 items to restrict. It's just for the value, it just does so much. I don't think D-Prison's available in this format, but if it is, I would run it. 3,000 eye restrict. Here's the extra deck. This card's the nuts. This card is the nuts. It's why this card was banned forever. I believe it was. I could be wrong. Now, this card takes one of your opponent's monsters, and then it gets in its attack, and then no other monsters can attack or change their positions except for 1,000 eyes. So, this is just a way to turn off your opponent. It's basically Mystic Mind, right? Like for the back of the day, like you turn off your opponent from doing anything, and then you can turn it off immediately or whenever you want to, by like tributing for a Monarch or something of that nature. And it's just how you get rid of your opponent's problem cards. It's the best card in the extra deck. The rest of these guys don't really matter. I mean, maybe Gatling Dragon would be pretty good if I ran a BLS, but like, why am I metamorphosizing a BLS? You know. So, level 3, Wicked. It's literally the only okay level 3. Don't think I'll ever summon this. This is supposed to be the level 4 Synchro. I think it's like a plant or something. Probably will never summon it, so that's why I don't even care to buy it. I'll just find it somewhere. And then the level 6s. These are the guys that kind of matter. Dark Blade. It's actually not that bad, depending on the deck you're going against. And then 1 Ojama King, not that bad depending on the deck you go against. This is metamorphosizing your Monarchs, which actually does come up a lot. And then 2 Ryu Senshi. I mean, honestly, this card's actually kind of crazy. It's why I don't really need to run Jinzo in the main deck, honestly. Because he stops fusion cards, and he can't be targeted by spell cards, so it's not bad at all. And that's it for the extra deck. I could probably just run more multiples, freaking tokens for side, I guess. And then I need to get go tokens. Here's the side deck. 3 Royal Oppression, or 1 MST and 2 Royal Oppression, whatever you want to consider. I'm just looking for a 3rd Royal Oppression, so That's where they are, right? Or that's why this is here, but if not, I guess it's just an MST just for more back row removal. I think in this format, the Royal Oppression just being at 3 is really underutilized because you get to completely turn off Metamorphosis, which is the biggest power card of the deck, which will stop most of you, which will be the reason why you die, why you lose most games, because you can keep up with OTK decks with this deck a lot of the time, I think. But this card just really crazy card for Yu-Gi-Oh! 3 Trap Dustshoot, crazy card for Yu-Gi-Oh! You basically side this in whenever you go first, so you can draw it, and then whatever your opponent has in their hand that might disrupt you. 1 Mirror Force. Mirror Force is quite good, and 1 Torrential Tribute. These are, or sorry, no, oh, that shouldn't be a Mirror Force. I already have it. 1 Torrential Tribute. Just because it's for board wipe in case I go for first, or I'm playing OTK. 3 Giant Trunade for back row removal. It's really good, really good going second. I can't believe this card's going at 3. Just return all spells and traps just in case. And then 3 Royal Decree. This card was actually like a very expensive card back in the day, so you basically always want to run this at 3. Because most people would have ran it back in the day at 3, but no one had it. So, yeah, we're running at 3 to negates all traps. And then 1 Jinzo for going second, it negates all traps. So that was the Go Control deck. I hope you guys or not the Go, well, this is the Go Control format. Monarch, Soul Exchange Monarch deck. Oh my god. Word salad. So I hope you guys enjoyed, guys and girls. I just say guys very colloquially. I know girls may be watching too. Hello. We have the Monarch deck. I'm gonna make some duels, hopefully IRL soon, and we'll have some Edison stuff coming up soon, some tournament stuff, and then I want to start getting into discussions and like top 10 lists and tier lists, you know, some things that would kind of generate a little bit more views. So if you're here right now, I appreciate it. The last 2 videos got like almost 200 views each, so I appreciate that very much. It's very consistent. I'm going to start improving on the thumbnails, the editing, and all that. So I hope you enjoy your day. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments. What do people run for GOAT Control, and what could I have done better? Leave a dislike or like, depending on how you thought of the video, and I will be seeing you all later. Have a good day. It's been MATAGAMES GX, signing out.